I want to be grilled. You know what I mean? Like, I want to know, what do I do poorly so that I can improve on that. Also tell me what I do well so that I can sharpen my strengths. But in order to be Sir Amazing, I need all the smoke. I need all the smoke. There's enough people that we're gonna pass through in life that are gonna say, "Oh, you do great. Oh, this is good," and we need that. Don't get me wrong. Part of my love language is word of affirmations.
Yeah, real, very real. Actually,
Yeah, I like people to tell me what I've done well, but I know how important it is to get the perspective and opinions of people that I respect personally in regards to being a man, being a leader.
Yeah, yeah, I feel that for sure. I feel like that's a level of maturity that is healthy, in terms of just wanting to get your constructive feedback so that you can actually improve, right? Like you don't want people just telling you that everything's roses, like everything's great. You know what I mean? Like people being timid to share that honest truth with you, right? And I feel like that's something that my team really um, uh, I would say struggle with in the beginning where, because we were new to each other, right? And everyone was kind of really becoming like friends really quickly, right? But there was definitely a sense that we were almost being too nice to each other, right? And so it's interesting to hear that you had that other side where you kind of came from it right away, being like, I want that constructive and I want to give it to people earlier, right? Like people younger as well to get that sooner, right? But yeah, that was definitely something that we were challenged with early on, where it was like, no, we got to learn how to be like, honest. Like, where do you see your brothers on some of these masculine relationship like pillars? You know what I mean? Like, do you feel like you can trust this man? Do you feel like this person has integrity? Like, whatever it is, right? And like, keep it 100, right? Like, if you don't feel it, let them know. You know what I mean? Because then that's an opportunity for that person to grow. Like, they're not going to be able, they're not going to hear it and be like, yo, whatever. You know what I mean? They're going to take that and just say thank you, right? And just be like, yo, this is my chance to show up stronger, right? So that's great, man. I definitely respect that. And we've definitely grown in that area, right? Where now we're a lot more comfortable being like, yo, we can improve on this, or this person could improve on this. You know what I mean? And also just acknowledging within ourselves, like I've seen men in our team go through periods where they just weren't showing up, right? Like they not showing up, like not coming, but like not showing up in their word, right? And the amount of ownership that I've seen these men take, like coming from that place where they weren't necessarily showing up, and people were trying to reach them and be like, what's going on or whatever, and then that person coming back and being like, I own it, and here's how I'm gonna clean it up, to a level that was like, like that's more than what we were necessarily looking for, but it just spoke to their commitment to wanting to be like true to their word, right, and wanting to be growing and wanting to be better in that sense. You know what I mean? And the beauty of that is that it speaks to what you were saying about just wanting that criticism for yourself. You know what I mean? Like, it's not necessarily that they're trying to do it to say to us, like, obviously there's that element of like they want to be in honor with us, but it's also them wanting to be in honor with themselves, right? And I feel like I wonder. I'm sure you get this. Like, where there's times where I'm like, man, like, I did this thing. Maybe it wasn't like the most serious of mess ups, but it was still like it was still a mess up. And so I might say like, yeah, I'm gonna do X number of push-ups, or I'm gonna do this or that or whatever, right? But I'm always checking in myself, like, do I feel like that's enough? Like, do I feel like I'm challenging myself enough so that I don't want to get this kind of scenario again? You know what I mean? Like, am I making it difficult enough for myself, right? And I feel like that's really what he did in that scenario. Like, he was like, I'm gonna make this so like monumental that like I'm gonna make sure this doesn't happen again. You know what I mean? I can't go from doing that to screwing up again. You know what I mean? And I just love that level of ownership. Like, it's very powerful to do that in a situation where it's not required. Your job's not on the line. Your grades aren't on the line. You know what I mean? It's just you and your word, right? And your man, right? So yeah, it's deep.
Man, it's so deep because I think about I don't know how many men or other men feel this way, but me personally, I'm in a ring every single day
Mm-hmm.
in my own head with myself, with the
Mm-hmm.
man in the mirror. I'm Tyson. I
Mm-hmm.
can knock myself out like this. And one of the beauties of our team is that all the men within our team relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
And when we step into this Zoom,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? The mask comes down
Mm-hmm.
and we've gone to those places where on this particular tour, I'm the youngest one on the team,
Mm-hmm.
ironically, as a captain too. But
Mm-hmm.
when I could take my mask down or hear a husband, a father, someone who's had an illustrious career, have someone like Anderson on the team he's in gold medal coach.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Having someone like Riviera on the team who's made a lot of money. Like those are things that are encouraging and helping. And then having someone like Dotson or some of the other men who are they're a few years older than me, but at different stages of life. Like that's being able to just breathe. And I mean, it's so ironic that we're within the year of George Floyd because
Yeah.
one of the things that really drives and motivates me and everything is, man, what would have happened if George Floyd could have had this opportunity?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's very real, man. I definitely, one, I want to say rest in peace, George Floyd. I just want to pay respects, and two, to that point, like it speaks to the level of growth that's possible in a program like this, because you're not the first person. I know you're not going to be the last person that I've heard say something like that, where it's like, what could have happened if I had been able to get this person into this program. You know what I mean? I was recently in a meeting where someone was saying that because they were reflecting on someone they had tried to enroll, and that person didn't do it and ended up in a very messy situation with their partner. And I'm not going to get into the details, but the point was the man felt responsible because he's like, if this person had just been able to get into a program like this, you know what I mean? Like, could they have grown enough within themselves to maybe have avoided the situation that they found themselves in?
Thanks so much for tuning into this teaser episode of the Circle Up podcast. You can check out the full episode by opening up Spotify, iTunes, wherever else you listen to podcasts, and typing in Project Circle Up, following us. And I highly encourage you to listen to this entire episode where Mukendi and Onabolo go into the details on what it looks like and what it feels like to be able to have an environment where you can take your mask off and be honest about where you are today in your life. The only way to take yourself where you want to go is to first meet yourself where you're at. And honesty and honoring the truth and being challenged by other men to honor your truth is one of the fastest ways to be able to take yourself where you want to go and be the man you've always wanted to be. So again, I want to thank Mukendi, Onabolo, brothers. I really appreciate the time and effort that you've put into not only this podcast, but the entire Circle Up community, being a role model for other men. I highly encourage everyone that's listening to check out the full episode, follow us, and share the episode if you feel like it would resonate with a man in your life. And finally, exciting news. On November 1st, 2021, the Circle Up book is officially launched in the world. Every single dollar of profit will be donated to jack.org to help support the education for youth mental health. And so keep an eye out for the book. Please share the episode, and if you have any feedback, encouragement, love you want to share, constructive feedback, please DM us and follow us on Instagram. Thank you so much. Much love from Toronto, Canada. Would love to have the beautiful backgrounds, the inspirational backgrounds, but y'all have to wait until October or November for that. So till then, love y'all. Talk to you soon.